when we ordain, we are switching our way of life from that of a layman to that of a bhikkhu. A bhikkhu means someone who sees the danger in the rounds of rebirth. So a bhikkhu endeavor or goal is to be able to escape from this round of rebirth. Because birth is suffering. Because once you are born, you have to get sick, get old, and die. And you will have to separate from everything that you have, everybody that you know. So birth is not a good thing from the view of Theravada Buddhism. Birth is like a curse. We are cursed to get old, to get sick, and to die. So being a bhikkhu is to strive for the extinction of the cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death. And practice that will be able to make us escape from samsara, the rounds of birth and death, is the practice of the triple training called Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. And before we can practice this Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, we first have to study. We have to learn what Sila is, what Samadhi is, what Panya is. This process is called Pariyati Dhamma. Pariyati means the study of the teaching of the Lord Buddha. Because if we don't study, we will not know exactly how to practice correctly. So we first need to practice with a teacher, study with a teacher. According to the rule, the monastic rule of discipline, a monk has to, a newly ordained monk has to live with a teacher for 5 years. He cannot live alone because it would be harmful to him more than beneficial, because he doesn't know the proper way of keeping the sila, the proper way of conducting himself as a monk, and he doesn't know what is the right kind of samadhi, and he doesn't know how to develop panya or wisdom. So this is what a newly ordained monk needs to do. He has to seek a teacher, usually the upachaya or the person who gave you the ordination. He is supposed to be your principal teacher. And during the ordination, he already taught you the 5 kammatthana. Remember when you have to recite Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Tajo. These are the 5 parts of the body called the 5 kammatthana. This is a very important object of developing wisdom, because we are attached to our body, and in order to be able to detach from the body, we have to study the true nature of the body, like studying the makeup of the body, which composed of the first 5 parts: the hair of the head, hair of the body, the skin, the nail, and the teeth. But beside these 5 parts, there are also another 27 parts. All in all, we call it the 32 parts of the body. This is what the body is. If we carefully study these 32 parts, we will come to the conclusion that there is no body in these 32 parts. They are just organs, parts of the body. We, as we call ourselves, we come from the mind, which happens to be the possessor of this body. But due to the lack of proper knowledge, we've been fed with the wrong knowledge. We've been fed with the knowledge that this body is us, is ourselves. So when anything happens to the body, we think that it also happened to us. But in reality, it only happens to the body. It only happens to the 32 parts, like aging, sickness, and death. It only happens to the body. It doesn't happen to us who possess this body. So this is what we want to teach ourselves, to see clearly that the body isn't ourselves. We are not the body. We are the possessor of the body. We are the one who knows, who thinks. This is us. We are the one who tells the body what to do. Like before you can move your body, you might have to must tell the body what to do. Before you can get up, you have to think first that I'm going to get up. When you think that, then you tell the body to move. See, the one who tells the body to do things is not the body. It doesn't die with the body. It doesn't get old or get sick with the body. So this is what the teacher will teach you, so that you can eliminate the delusion in your mind, the delusion that tells you to look at the body as yourself. So this is the first goal of studying, to know the true nature of the body, that it isn't you. It is just the composition of the 32 parts, made up of the 32 parts, like the skin, the hair of the head, hair of the body, so forth. This is the thing that we will have to keep teaching or reminding ourselves all the time, that truly there is no self in this body. There is only the 32 parts, which will eventually disintegrate and return to the original source. The source of these 32 parts are the 4 elements. The element, the air, earth, water, air, and fire, or wind for the air, earth, water, and fire. What happened when the body stops functioning? When the body dies, the body turns cold. That means the fire element has disappeared. Then the next thing is the wind element. There is no breathing, no air going in. There are only air escaping from the body. And the next thing that will separate from the body is the liquid part, the water part. All the liquid that is contained in the body will ooze out of the body, come out of the body, leaving the body just the earth part. If you leave the body in the cemetery, eventually it will return to dust or earth. This is the study of the true nature of the body. In order to eliminate the delusion that the body is you, is me, so that you can be free from suffering when the body gets sick or get old or die. You will know that you don't get sick, get old or die with the body. This is one aspect of the body that we have to study and to remind us all the time. We must never forget. In order not to forget, we have to study it all the time, think about it all the time, in all four postures of our waking life, from the time we get up to the time we go to sleep. Just keep thinking about the body as being a composition of the 32 elements that comes from the four elements, and that it will eventually disintegrate, return to the original source. If we keep reminding us like this, then the delusion will not be able to tell us to have the desire for the body not to die, not to get sick, or to get old. Because we know that this is the way the body will have to be. The body will have to get sick, get old, and die. But we are not the body. We are the mind. And the mind doesn't die with the body. If we can remember this truth all the time, then when the body gets sick, get old, or die, we'll remain calm and peaceful, because we will not have any desire to wish that the body doesn't get old, get sick, or die. When there is no desire, then there is no dukkha or suffering. In the Four Noble Truths, the Buddha said the dukkha or the mental suffering arises from our desire. The three desires are kama tanha, desire for sensual pleasure; bhava tanha, the desire to be; and vibhava tanha, the desire not to be. But if we have the truth, then we will not have this desire arising. We will not have the desire for the body to last forever, to be healthy all the time, to be young all the time. Because we know the truth is not like that. The truth is the body will get sick, get old, and die. If we have this knowledge all the time with us, then whenever the body becomes old, becomes sick, or die, it will not hurt us. The mind will not be hurt by the aging, sickness, and death of the body, because we know that the body is not us. We are not the body. So this is the goal of body contemplation, or the study of the nature of the body, to see the body as it really is, not as what we think it is. We always think that this body is us, but that's not the truth. The truth the Buddha have discovered is that the body is not us. The body is just the body. Us or we are the mind. We are the one who come and possess this body and then use this body as the means of acquiring things that we want to have. Because we have delusion to think that our happiness rely on acquiring things, acquiring money, acquiring status, acquiring husband and wife and children, and acquiring everything that we can acquire through our body. But whatever we acquire, they are all temporary. They don't last forever. And when we have to separate from them, that's when we become unhappy and sad. So we have to teach the mind not to acquire anything. The thing that the mind should acquire is calm or peace of mind. This is the real happiness and true happiness, because it stays with us all the time. It never leaves us, because the mind will never leave us, and the calm of the mind will never leave us. This is what we should strive for, not possession outside of the mind. Don't strive for money, status, or praises, or sight, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects. All these things, they only give you a temporary happiness. When you see things, you are happy. But when you don't see it, then this happiness disappears. And one day you will not be able to see things, because your body will have to get sick, get old, and die. And when you cannot acquire things through your body, then you will be sad and unhappy. But if you have the inner happiness, the happiness of the mind, you will not be affected by the sickness, aging, and death of the body, because you can always maintain this mental happiness or spiritual happiness with or without the body. So this is where we have to practice samadhi. Samadhi is the way to bring this mental happiness. Samadhi will make the mind calm and peaceful. When the mind becomes calm and peaceful, there will arise this mental happiness, which is a better happiness than the happiness that we acquire through the body. And once we have acquired this inner peace or this mental happiness, the next thing to do is to maintain, to protect it. The things that will come and destroy this mental happiness, our desire. When we come out of samadhi, if we are not careful, if we let our desire take over, then our desire will eliminate the inner peace or the mental happiness that we have acquired from sitting in samadhi. But if we use wisdom, the teaching of the Lord Buddha, the truth that the Buddha had discovered, that our sadness, our unhappiness arises from our desire. So if we stop our desire, we will be able to protect our mental happiness. But if we cannot stop our desire by just believing in what the Buddha had told us, then we have to look at the truth itself. Look at what happened when we do according to our desire. When our desire tells us to go find something to make us happy, are we really happy from acquiring that thing? We might be happy when we first acquire it, but when we acquire it, then we become attached to it, and we become worried that we might lose it one day. So the happiness that you gain from acquiring the thing that you want to have will disappear. And what replaces it is the worry and anxiety and unhappiness. And one day when you lose it, you will become sad again. So this is the way to teach the mind to stop following our desire. Don't go after your desire, because you will only come up with sadness and unhappiness. We should stay with being calm. We should stay with the inner happiness by resisting all forms of desire. This is the way of life for a monk. Monks don't seek any happiness from anything in this world. We only seek the happiness that arises from mental calm. In order to be able to have this mental calm, we need mindfulness. In Pali we call it sati. Sati is the instrument or the tool that will stop the mind from thinking. When the mind stops thinking, then the mind will become calm and peaceful and happy. So what we have to constantly do from the time we get up to the time we go to sleep is developing and maintaining mindfulness. Being mindful with one thing, like a mantra. If we use the name of the Buddha, Bhutto, Bhutto, we just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto all day long. Regardless of whatever we do, we keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto in order to stop from thinking about other things. With the exception, if we have to think of something, then we can temporarily stop reciting Bhutto, Bhutto and think of the things that we really have to think, like what we have to do. And when we do something, we have to use our thought, and we stop using the Bhutto for a while. But after we finish whatever we have to think, with whatever we have to do, then we should come back and recite Bhutto in order to prevent the mind from thinking about this and that, prevent the mind from thinking aimlessly and uselessly. But when the mind doesn't think at all, then we can stop reciting. We can just watch the mind that doesn't think, and keep it that way. Whenever the mind starting to think aimlessly again, then we should stop it from thinking again by reciting the mantra again, Bhutto, Bhutto. And when we have time to sit down, then we should sit down, close our eyes, and then recite the Bhutto again. Then eventually the mind will come to perfect stillness. The mind will stop thinking. The mind will enter into jhana, enter into appana samadhi. That's where we want the mind to go, to enter into appana samadhi, where there is no thinking. All that is left is the one who knows, and a sense of peace and happiness. This is what we want to acquire. And once we have acquired, we want to maintain it. When the mind is in appana samadhi, we should not do anything except maintaining mindfulness. Just watching this state of mind for as long as possible. It's not the time to develop wisdom. It's not the time to contemplate on the nature of the body. This will have to come after the mind withdraw from samadhi. After the mind remain in this state for a while, it will then withdraw. When it withdraws, it will start to come back to the normal state, come back to be aware of the sight, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects, and start to think. When the mind starts to think, we should direct this thinking toward the body contemplation, to study the true nature of the body by going through the 32 parts of the body. By separating these 32 parts of the body into each individual part, to see truly that there is no body in this body. There is only the 32 parts. This is the way to develop wisdom or panya. We need to have this knowledge in order to let go of our delusion, our attachment to the body, and our desire to keep the body all the time. Because the truth is, we cannot have the body to be with us all the time. One day, sooner or later, this body will have to leave us. But if we have the truth, if we know this will happen, and if we are willing to let go of the body, then we will not be affected when the body leaves us in the future. And then we also have to use the body contemplation to get rid of our sexual desire. Whenever we have this sexual desire arises, we have to look at the unpleasant part of the body, like the 32 part. If you see the 32 part, if you see the organs that is underneath the skin, then your sexual desire can be controlled, can be eliminated. So whenever you have sexual desire, you have to get rid of it. Because if you don't, then this sexual desire will prevent you from attaining to Nibbana. And you will be stuck in a round of rebirth. So you have to contemplate on the unpleasantness of the body. Look at the body when it gets sick, or when it gets old, or when it dies. It's not pleasant at all when you look at a corpse. Everybody will eventually become a corpse. So whenever you have this sexual desire to sleep with somebody, just remind yourself that you are going to sleep with a corpse. The difference is that it's still breathing, that's all. But otherwise, there is no difference. When we die, the body turns into a corpse when we don't breathe anymore. But the body is still the same. It still has the 32 parts. So this is what we have to do regarding the body. We have to study the nature of the body until we can get rid of our fear of losing our body. Once we see the truth of the body, and if we have samadhi, we will be able to let go of the body. Because we have a calm and peaceful and happy mind that can exist without having to rely on the body to have happiness. But when we don't have samadhi yet, we will not be able to let go. because we have to rely on the body to acquire happiness for us. But once we have samadhi, we have the happiness inside the mind, then we won't need to have the body. And when we know that we eventually will have to lose the body, we will not be sad. We will not be impacted in any way. So we first must have samadhi before we can develop wisdom or panya to let go of our attachment to the body. Because we will see that if we are attached to the body, the result will be suffering, sadness, and happiness. But if we let go of the body, the result will be peace and calm. So this is what we have to do. First we have to develop samadhi. Once we have samadhi, and when we come out of samadhi, we have to study the nature of the body, the true nature of the body, in order to get rid of our delusion, our attachment, and our desire toward the body, be it our own body or other people's body. They are all the same. They are all anicca, dukkha, anatta. They are all asubha, not beautiful, not pleasant to see when they become sick, when they get old or die, or when you look inside under the skin. This is what we have to train the mind to look at the body. Once the body see the body as it is, then the mind will let go of the body and will not be affected by the body in any way. There will be no sexual desire. You can live alone and be happy. You don't have to have a partner, don't have to have a wife to make you happy. Instead of having a wife, instead of having happiness from having a wife, you also have problem with your wife. So it's better to live alone than to live with your wife. See, if you see it with wisdom, then you can leave your wife and you can become a monk. So this is basically the first level of practice, is to understand the nature of the body, so that we can let go of our desire toward the body. If we can do this, we will achieve the third level of attainment, called the anagami level. And anagami has no attachment to body, has no desire toward the body, in whichever way at all. It has no attachment, no desire for the body to not get sick, get old, or die. It has no desire to have sex with anybody, because it sees the unpleasant part of the body. So this is what we should do as a monk. First we have to study from our teacher. Once we have studied, then we have to practice. First we have to develop and maintain mindfulness, because we need mindfulness to make the mind calm, to make the mind enter into jhana, into appana samadhi. Once we have appana samadhi, and when we withdraw from appana samadhi, we then should study or contemplate the true nature of the body. Keep contemplating, keep reminding the mind that the body has no self. The body has only the 32 parts. The body is made up from the 4 elements. One day the body will return to the 4 elements. Look at the body that is not pleasant, it's not beautiful, it's not good looking. Because the body, when it gets old, gets sick or die, it's not a pleasant sight to see. Or if you look inside the body, there's nothing beautiful inside the body. So this is what we have to do as a monk. to study the true nature of the body and then get rid of our delusion, our attachment, and our desire toward the body. Once we have let go of the body, we will be free from being sad, being unhappy with the body. So this is what we should try to do as a monk. The Buddha teaches us to practice all the time except when we go to sleep. Like he set up the schedule for monks from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. we practice samadhi or wisdom by sitting in meditation or walking jongom, walking meditation. And from 10 to 2 o'clock in the morning we go to sleep, take a rest. From 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. we get up and do more practice, walking and sitting meditation, until the time to go on bintabata, to collect food. While we go on our bintabata, we can still practice. We can either maintain mindfulness or we can contemplate on the impermanent nature of things around us. Everything is impermanent. Or we can contemplate on the nature of the body while we go on bintabata. When we come back to the temple, to the sala to have our food, we continue on with our mindfulness, our contemplation. When we eat, before we eat, we should contemplate on the repulsive aspect of the food that we're gonna eat, because we don't want to eat with the desire to eat. We want to eat like taking medicine. In order to eat like taking a medicine, we must put all the food together into the bowl and mix them all up, because eventually the food will be mixed in the stomach anyway. This is to get rid of our desire for food. If the food or the food that we will eat will be all mixed in the stomach, we should mix it before it goes into the stomach. We mix it in the bowl. Put everything that we're gonna put in the stomach in the bowl and mix it all up and eat it. If we eat it that way, then we will not eat with the desire to enjoy, to have pleasure from eating. But we eat it like we taking medicine. Eat it just to take care of the body. This is something that you have to do if you have problem with eating. If you choose this kind of food and that kind of food, then it means you're still delusional. You still don't see the purpose of eating. The purpose of eating is just to maintain your body, like taking medicine. You don't care what size and shape the medicine you take, right? You just take it. If the doctor gives you any kind of medicine, you just take it in. It's the same way with taking food. You should look at food like medicine, not something to enjoy, but something to maintain the body, to take care of the body. If you can eat like this, then there will be no problem eating. You can eat any kind of food. And when you finish eating, then while you eat, you also have to have mindfulness. With every bite that you chew, with every food that you swallow, you must have mindfulness. You should not think about this or that thing. You should not enjoy the food. If you think you're enjoying the food, just imagine what it's like in your mouth. If you want to see what it looks like, maybe you can spit it out. See the food that you are enjoying chewing and swallowing. Look at it, what it looks like, by spitting it out, put into your bowl, and see if you can put it back in your mouth again. See, this is to dispel your delusion. You are enjoying food. But when you are looking at the food that you are enjoying, you don't want to eat it anymore. See? Okay, this is how we should practice as a monk. We should not eat for enjoyment. We should eat just for the purpose of maintaining the body. This is the practice. This is the way to eliminate the desire, the kilesa that associate with eating. Then after we finish eating, we clean up the place where we eat, clean up the bowl, put it back in the bowl back and then we go back to our living quarter to continue on with our practice until the afternoon when we have to sweep the ground, the temple ground, and then maybe have some refreshment. After that, we take a shower, wash. When we finish, it's time to practice again until the time to go to bed, go to sleep. So this is the schedule of a practice monk. He doesn't do any other job, do any other work if he can avoid it. Occasionally we might have to do other work, but it should not be considered as the principal work. Our principal work is to meditate, to develop mindfulness, to develop samadhi, and to develop wisdom or panya. Because we need this Dhamma to eliminate all our desire. Because we don't want to have any dukkha or sadness or suffering in the mind. And the cause of our suffering are the kilesas or our desires. And they can only be get rid of by using mindfulness, samadhi, and panya. So this is the life of a monk, the work of a monk that I have illustrated to you as much as I can do. So I think I have said quite enough. I should maybe leave some time for questioning. Okay?
Thank you, Kap. I'll turn to the my fellow monks and ask if they've got questions for you.
Okay.
Anyone with a question for Long Po?
Last night we overnight chanting for 12 hours. So we sat there for 12 hours. A lot of us felt pain. So when we sat for 12 hours, pain rises in the body. It's very difficult for us who are not so well practiced to say that the pain is not mine. So if you pain, you want to get up and walk. So how do you realize that there's no self in pain?
Good question. You probably can't hear it, but Long Po, last night we had the Buddha Piset in the main shrine, and all of us participated in it. So we sat through the night in the chanting, and also there were parts of it meditation. Those who can't chant, they sat in meditation. But my fellow monk was asking, in such situations where perhaps we are also new to meditation, and to sitting through the night or at least a few hours at each point, and there will be intense pain. And during such periods of intense pain, how do we deal with it such that we can see that the pain is not ours, not mine? Did I raise your question correctly? Yes, that's the question. How do we deal with it such that it is considered or reflected, contemplated as not me, not mine, not myself?
The way to deal with the physical pain depends on our ability. There is two ways of dealing with our physical pain. The first one is easier than the second one. The first one is to ignore the pain by concentrating your mind on one object, like a mantra. Just repeating the Buddha, Buddha, Bhutto, 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 in order to prevent your mind from thinking of the pain. Because if you think of the pain, then your kilesa, your desire will arise. Your desire will want to get rid of the pain, or want the pain to go away. When you have this desire, you're actually creating more pain. The pain that is created is in the mind itself, and it's a lot stronger than the physical pain. This you can avoid or prevent from happening if you use the mantra by constantly reciting Bhutto, 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 and don't let the mind ever think of the physical pain. If you can concentrate on reciting the mantra, after maybe a few minutes, the pain will seem to subside and maybe even disappear. This is the easy method, but it's a temporary method, because as soon as you stop reciting, as soon as you start thinking of the pain, then you can also create more pain again. The second way, which is the way of wisdom, the way looking at the pain, you have to first separate the mind from the body, and then you can then separate the pain from the mind, because the pain arises from the body. It's the body that is being painful, it's not the mind. The mind is just someone who's just watching the pain of the body. But due to the mind's delusion, it thinks that it is the body. So when it thinks that it is the body, then when the body becomes painful, it thinks it is painful. But in fact, the mind is not the one who is experiencing the pain. The mind is just someone just watching the pain of the body. So if you can separate the mind from the body, then you can separate the pain from the mind also. Then if you know that, then you can just leave the pain alone. Because if you have any desire for the pain to disappear, you are creating more pain to the point where you will not be able to withstand that pain. But if you can keep the mind calm and peaceful and not creating any desire for the pain to disappear, then the mind will be able to withstand the pain of the body. So this is the second method, to look at the pain of the body as anatta. It is not the mind who is painful, it is the body that is painful. So the mind doesn't have to be afraid of the body pain, because the mind has no pain. But due to delusion, the mind thinks that the body is itself. So when it thinks the body is itself, when the body becomes painful, the mind thinks that itself is being painful. So when it thinks that it is painful, it wants to get rid of that pain. Then it has this desire. When this desire arises, it is creating more pain. But this time the pain is in the mind, which is more intense than the physical pain. And then you will not be able to withstand the physical pain. But it's not the physical pain that you're not being able to withstand. It is the mental pain that you arise from your desire to get rid of your physical pain. So you must somehow try to stop creating this desire to get rid of the physical pain by accepting it, by living with it. Understand?
That's very clear. Before I turn to the next question, there is a question that was raised recently, and I thought it would be good to perhaps get Longpo's view or Longpo's sharing of what he thinks. We have got two teachers who gave us meditation instructions this week. One of them is concerning walking meditation. One of them told us that when you do walking meditation, you don't bother with the feeling of the foot touching the floor or even noticing left foot, right foot. Instead, you just pay attention to Putto. The other teacher says it the other way around. You should at least be aware of the foot touching the floor. You should be aware of which foot is moving. So I think some of my fellow monks here are a bit confused. Perhaps we could have some clarity from Lompo.
Actually, both method is okay. It's just depend on each individual preferences. That's all. You can use Bhutto while you walk, or you can use watching the foot as you walk. The goal is the same, to prevent the mind from thinking aimlessly. When the mind has to recite Bhutto, or when it has to watch the feet walking, then it cannot think aimlessly. That's the whole purpose, is to stop the mind from thinking aimlessly. So whichever method you want to use is okay. Or you can even use body contemplation. Then you are developing both mindfulness and wisdom at the same time. So there's many different methods in practice. We have 40 kammatthana, 40 ways of developing mindfulness and samadhi. So it's up to you to use whichever way you like, whichever way that will produce the result that you want to have.
Thank you, Kap. Next question. Does anyone else have another question for Lompo? No? Then I'll ask another one, Lompo.
Go ahead.
During the week also, there were discussions amongst ourselves, and the topic of bare attention came up. Some of us had the impression of our practice being just barely watching, and not doing anything about what we are seeing, so that we can then develop wisdom. Perhaps Lompo could also share some insights into this phenomenon called bare attention, which is currently very popular in the West, I think.
It depends on what you mean by bare attention. If you just merely know, then it's like maintaining mindfulness. But if you want to have wisdom, you have to see that what you are observing are phenomenon, and they are all anicca, dukkha, anatta. If you just merely watch, but if you can do that, it's good. But for most people, I think they cannot just merely watch. When they see a snake, what would they do? Will they still merely watch, or will they start running away? See, that's what people don't understand. They only talk about bare attention in a normal circumstances. But when they're in a crisis, what will they do? Can they still remain bare attention, maintaining bare attention, or they start jumping all over the place? See what I mean?
Yes, Kap. Any other thoughts? There's one question, Kap. Okay, the question is, can we contemplate on any object of meditation while not sitting in meditation?
Meditation can be done in all four postures: standing, sitting, walking, or lying down. And you can contemplate on any object that is to your liking.
Clear answer? Okay. Thank you, Kap. Anyone else? Yes, call.
The meditation at that point cuts the patient at the time of death. Will it be too late for them to know anything about meditation?
Okay. หลวงพ่อครับ this is about a person who is terminally ill. The hospital has given up hope on doing anything for the person, discharged him home. Now, will meditation at this late stage be of any help to the person and even to the final moments of the person's life? Perhaps rejoinder to that will be what form of meditation should this person be encouraged to make use of?
It depends on the ability of this person, what he can do. See, if there are two ways of meditating, one meditation for calm, or two meditation for insight. If he can do either way, it will help to calm his mind. The easiest way is to do meditation for calm, like reciting a mantra. If he can keep reciting a mantra and stop thinking, then his mind will drop into Appana Samadhi. Once the mind is in Appana Samadhi, the pain of the body, of the death of body will not affect him in any way. But when he comes out of Appana Samadhi, when he starts to think of the body again, he can become sad or afraid again. So if he can do the second way, which we call insight meditation, he has to look at the body just like I told you earlier on, to look at the body that it is not himself, he is the mind. He's the one who knows, who sings, who tells the body what to do. He's the master. The body is the servant. So you're losing the servant, but you're not losing yourself. The servant is dying, but not the master. So the master should not be excited or worried or sad, because the master doesn't die with the servant, the body. So this is what he has to separate himself from the body. If he can do that, then whatever happens to the body will not affect him in any way. This is we call vipassana, insight, to look at the body as anatta, and to look at the mind as the one who knows. Okay?
Thank you, Kap. Other questions? Anyone else? Yes. How do we know we are on the right? As far as practice is concerned. We'd like to know how do we know if we are keeping on the right track in our practice, Kap?
Well, basically, you have to have peace and calm and no desire. Then you're in the right track. If you go after your desire, then you are going off the right track. It's like when you want to smoke a cigarette, you want to drink coffee, then you're going off the right track. The right track is only to drink for your body, and your body doesn't need coffee, doesn't need cigarette. Your body needs clean air to breathe and just clean water to drink, pure water. Okay?
Thank you, Kap. Other questions? This is your opportunity to make use of the time that Lompo has given us. It's very rare to be able to, request for time from Lompo. So make use of this time. Those who have been reading a lot, maybe it's about time we ask the questions about practice instead of theory. Anyone? Yes.
Reaching 160, is there any quick way of getting wisdom?
The question is, my fellow monk is reaching his 60s, 60 years old, and is there a quick way to attaining wisdom?
Well, for each individual is different, see, because the ability for each person to see things clearly are different. So there's no fixed time. The Buddha said in the end of the Satipatthana Sutta, he said that if you follow his instruction in the Satipatthana Sutta, you will be able to gain wisdom and become enlightened either in 7 days' time, or 7 months, or 7 years. So it's up to each individual. If you have a lot of past experience already, if you have developed a lot of parami in the past, you have developed a lot of wisdom in the past, then it will be quicker for you. But if you haven't developed any parami, any wisdom at all, then it will be longer for you. See?
Thank you, Kap. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The question is, when someone is in meditation, how would he know that he is in samadhi?
Normally, if you're in samadhi, you're totally awake. You know everything that's happening, just like we are right now, knowing that we are talking. See? If I compare our talking to our thinking in the mind, we know when we think, right? And we know when the mind stops thinking. See? When the mind stops thinking, we feel peaceful and calm and happy. So there is a difference when we have samadhi and when we don't have samadhi. And we will know it clearly, just like what we are doing right now. When we are talking, we know we are talking. When we stop talking, we know we stop talking. And we know the difference, the feeling that arises from the mind when the mind stops thinking. The mind will become peaceful, happy. It is like lifting up a mountain off the chest. You will feel light, breezy, and content. So you will know when you are in samadhi. If you don't know, it means you are asleep. You fall asleep. Some people sit and then go to sleep. And after half an hour, they wake up, they look at the watch and they say, oh, I've sat for half an hour. But they don't know what happened in that 30 minutes. So it can happen to you when your mindfulness is very weak. You can sit for 5 minutes, then you will drop off and fall asleep. And you're not completely sleeping, but half asleep, but you're not in samadhi in that kind of state. If you're in real samadhi, you will be completely alert, and the experience will be so amazing to you that you will never forget it. That's a real samadhi.
Thank you, Kap. Other questions? Anyone else? Yes. The next question, Kap, is it necessary to sit for long periods of time in meditation?
When you first start, you can only sit for as long as you can. But as you progress, you want to sit longer because samadhi is beneficial for your mind. It's like charging your battery. charging it briefly and charging it for a long time can give you the different battery strength. When you sit in samadhi, it's like charging the mind to become very strong, to be able to resist your desire. So if you have strong samadhi, then you can resist your desire. If you have weak samadhi, you cannot resist your desire. So the goal is to have strong enough samadhi to be able to resist all form of your desire. That's why you want to sit for as long as possible and sit many sessions, not just one session a day. After you can no longer sit, then you get up and walk to relieve your body, to relieve the pain in the body. And after you have finished walking, then you come back and sit again. Just keep on sitting for as much as possible until you have that strength to resist your desire. Because samadhi itself cannot get rid of the desire. It has to have panya, wisdom, to instruct it to resist the desire. So if you have the panya and you're told to resist your desire, but if you have no samadhi, you cannot resist. Like right now, you know that not eating in the evening can be quite painful for you. That's because you have no samadhi. When you start thinking of food, you become very hungry already. But if you have samadhi and you know that you're not supposed to eat, you can stop that desire and you will not feel any pain from wanting to eat in the evening.
Thank you, Kap. Anyone else? No? Okay. Yes, I think we have run out of questions, Kap.
That's good, because I think I run out of answer also.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kap. On behalf of my fellow monks here, really like to thank you for giving us the time. It really is. It really is our privilege and honor to have had you give us advice. We do hope to meet you once again via Skype on another occasion. Before we go, I'd like to invite my fellow monks to pay respects to you, brother. Oh, หลวงพ่อครับ พระอาจารย์เข่ง our Uvacha has just arrived, so we'd like to come and pay respects to you first. I'll get him to come nearer to the camera so that you can see him. Okay.
สวัสดีครับสบายดี Good. Good work you are doing.
อะไรครับท่านอาจารย์
I say you are doing a good work, ordaining 57 monks.
ก็พยายามครับ
ดีมากอนุโมทนาสาธุ
สาธุครับ
Okay, keep up the good work.
ครับ
Okay.
เดี๋ยวพาหมู่คณะกลับครับ
กราบเฉยๆก็พอนั้นไม่ต้องกราบไม่ต้องสวด
วันพาอภิวัตอัญชลีวันพาอัญชลีวันพาสาธุ
อภิวาทนาสิริสัทนิจังวุฒาปจายโนจัตตารโอธรรมาวัฏันติอายุวันโนสุขังภะลัง You have anything to say, อาจารย์เก่ง
Do you have anything to say to you?
ก็
ต้องอนุโมทนากับท่านอาจารย์ที่เมตตากับหมู่คณะครับพระใหม่ส่วนผมเองก็บุคลากรก็ไม่พอก็ถึงจะว่าพอดีแอนนาไปที่นั่นว่าเฮ้ยนิมนต์ท่านอาจารย์เมตตาหน่อย
ก็ยินดีที่ได้มีโอกาสได้มาแสดงธรรมให้กับพระใหม่
ครับพอดีทางนี้ก็ยังที่รู้อยู่ว่าครูบาอาจารย์ไม่ค่อยมีแล้วก็ผู้ปฏิบัติก็เยอะที่นี่ว่าก็หนักหน่อยแต่ว่าต้องอาศัยนั่นแหละหมู่คณะจากทางไทยมาช่วยสนับสนุนครับ
ท่านทำคนเดียวก็ได้ท่านชื่อเก่งอยู่แล้ว โอเคนะมีอะไรอีกไหม
ไม่มีครับไม่มีนะครับครับ
โอเคงั้นก็ขอเซย์กู๊ดบายตรงนี้กันแล้วกันนะครับ
ผมสาธุครับท่านอาจารย์
โอเคไว้พบกันใหม่
ครับผมวันที่20จะไปงานหลวงปู่เจี๊ยบผมว่าจะแวะไปหาท่านอาจารย์ครับที่วัด
ดีครับถ้ามาได้ก็ดี
ครับเจอกันที่เมืองไทยครับผม
ครับสวัสดีครับสวัสดี goodbye to everybody see you
ครับ
okay